Hey guys, my name's Brenna Posey. I'm a NOCD employee. I also have OCD myself and have gone through our NOCD therapy, and I've seen just how much ERP or exposure response prevention can save lives. And so now I love talking about it. I also help run our Instagram page. It's at Treat My OCD. Feel free to go check us out. I host Instagram Q&As every Wednesday on our stories where you can come and answer or ask any questions that you want about OCD, and I'll answer them based off of my OCD lived experience. Y'all liked our previous video about the Grammys. So now, since today is the Oscars, we thought it would be fun to make a video talking about OCD in movies and films. And if you're anything like me, you like movies, music, pop culture, and you especially like it whenever those artists and celebrities open up and talk about vulnerable things such as mental health and OCD if they have an OCD diagnosis. Whenever they open up and talk about these things, it really makes me feel less alone, and it makes me feel like I can do anything despite my struggles. So let's get into it. Tonight is the 97th Academy Awards, and we're so excited because a film called A Real Pain is up for an Oscar nomination. So we're going to talk about that and kind of what the movie is about and the director who has OCD himself. So A Real Pain is written and directed by Jesse Eisenberg and actually has nominations for Best Screenplay and Best Supporting Actor, which is really exciting. So now here is what A Real Pain is about. A Real Pain follows cousins David, who is Eisenberg, and Benji, who is Kieran Culkin, as they travel through Poland on a Jewish heritage tour honoring their late grandmother. Along the way, they can't help but compare their own mental health struggles to what people endured during the Holocaust. So David has OCD and Benji has depression, and both of these characters are struggling immensely, emotionally and mentally, because of their OCD and depression. But throughout the movie, it just feels almost insignificant, their struggles, when they compare their struggles to their late grandmother's experience in a concentration camp. And actually, Eisenberg went on an interview with The Fresh Air recently, which he spoke about the film's portrayal of mental health. And he also talked about his real life experience with OCD, depression, and anxiety. He opened up and said that he's really struggled with it, and he actually spent time in a psychiatric hospital in the sixth grade and ended up missing a year of school. And it meant a lot to me that he did this interview and really opened up and talking about OCD, depression, and anxiety in this interview because, you know, he's a really successful director, actor, all the things, yet he has major struggles. You know, he was spent time in a hospital, and I know if you're watching this video right now, you could be struggling with OCD, and I know how scary it feels, and I know how debilitating it is. So I think hearing that other people are managing it and are able to get through it and go on to produce movies and films and be an actor, it gives me a lot of hope. So I hope it brings hope to you as well. Here's a quote from Eisenberg that we wanted to share. So, what is real pain? Eisenberg asks. Is my character's manageable, medicated OCD pain valid? Ultimately, he views his pain as unexceptional, yet still significant, a point that runs through the narrative core of A Real Pain. Now, whether this film receives an Oscar tonight or not, we are just really happy and commend Jesse Eisenberg for his honest portrayal of grief and depression and OCD recovery. It's really important that movies, music show OCD, but not only show OCD, but show OCD correctly. You know, I think a lot of us have seen films and music and movies, TV shows where they talk about OCD, but it's not what OCD really is. You know, I think we've seen a lot of people wanting things a certain way and calling that OCD, which maybe it is, maybe it's not. But a lot of times people don't talk about the other themes of OCD that are more mental or more taboo. So I love that people want and to be open about OCD and want to share that through art. The 2025 Oscars will air tonight live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. So check it out and feel free to watch A Real Pain. I'm going to watch it actually today. I'm so excited to watch it. And anything about OCD and mental health has been really inspiring for me to watch because I'm finally not just talking about my own experience with mental health. I get to watch it through someone else. And it's not through social media, it's through a movie, which is really cool. And we don't get a lot of that. So I'll definitely be watching it. So I hope you guys do too. Now we're going to be talking about two different films that are not nominated for Oscars, but are still amazing movies that you should watch if you're open to watching movies about OCD and mental health. So the first one is called Turtles All the Way Down, and it's based off of a novel written by John Green. It's a coming of age story about a 16-year-old girl named Asa who is struggling pretty severely with OCD. And hers, you can see through hand washing compulsions. And it also shows examples of what reassurance seeking can look like, avoidance, rumination. And also, I feel like one of the biggest messages about this film is hope and community. Talks about friends and relationships too, because that's such a big part about growing up and how OCD can play a role into all of those things. And I've actually watched this movie firsthand and I've read the book. I'm a huge John Green fan and love it. I remember thinking to myself, this is the first time I've ever read something or watched something that has actually showed OCD correctly. It made me be able to relate to the main character Asa because it can feel super isolating because my OCD really came to be whenever I was around 16 years old. And that's a really weird and awkward time of life. So I love being able to relate to her and her experience to some degree. My OCD looked a little bit different, but just seeing it and reading about it in a way that's not, it's not an OCD misconception. It's what OCD can really look like for people. Loved it. It was awesome. And it was a breath of fresh air for me. So Turtles All the Way Down is what it's called. Feel free to check it out or read the book. It's incredible. And the second movie that we want to talk about is called Pure O. It's written and directed by Dylan Tucker. And in this movie, they really explore the Pure O OCD subtype. So when people talk about Pure O, they talk about really it's their OCD in their brain. So they don't do any external compulsions or obsessions. It's all in their brain, which a lot of people struggle with. Actually, it's where you can't see it. You don't see them struggling firsthand, but it's all mental. I love this because that's all that I've struggled with. I've never had external obsessions or compulsions. All of them have been in my brain. So seeking self-reassurance, avoidance, ruminating, that's all been in my brain. And I didn't know that those were compulsions. So being able to recognize those and treating them just like you would any other external compulsion can be really helpful for OCD. And that is what ERP, exposure response prevention, can help teach you. So check out this film. It's called Pure O. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm super excited to. At NOCD, it's our mission to help people conquer their OCD. Now, this condition is widely misunderstood, so it's great to see accurate representation and acclaimed characters who have transformed their lives with OCD treatment. So book a free call with our team. You can go to nocd.com and you can learn more about specialized therapy and can help you get your life back from OCD. Thank you so much.